Beloved, welcome back to the shop. In today's video, we're going to be pimping out the Warn 9,000 pound winch that I tore up last winter. We're going to be adding synthetic line, getting rid of the wire rope, and figuring out why it quit running. I used to work at Warn Industries. I used to build these things. So let me show you a quick walkthrough how you can diagnose it, do field repairs, because this is an important skill to have. Let me get you up to speed with what we're doing here. So what I've got is a 9,000 pound Warn winch with wire rope on it on a very sus homemade mount. You can see there, I welded an old trailer hitch on there. Now I bent this over pulling it. It was never designed properly, and it's always bugged me ever since. So I know what's broken. It's the motor. So we're going to be replacing the motor on this. I will show you how to test to tell the difference. We also have a proper mount. This is made for receiving for trailer receivers. Let's talk about how these winches work. They're actually quite simple. What you have right here is a great big 12 volts, essentially a starter motor, heavy duty starter motor that runs forward or reverse. That's why you have power that goes in here, reverse, forward, or vice versa. We've got a positive and a negative from a battery. It doesn't make any difference, the polarity on these. You're gonna have small pins and big pins on the relay. Jump the relay. If it clicks, that means it's working. With that verified, get your voltmeter, and we're gonna jump each relay just like we did. We're gonna activate it here with our, okay, it's activated. They're gonna jump across the two big ones, and we should have no resistance. So that relay is good. Look at this little demon. You thought you'd come out and sting me. Oh, I have a nice place for you. There, sting that. That's a good place for him. Now that we know the relays are functioning properly, it really, for the most part, is going to come down to one thing. It's a bad motor. I have a brand new motor here I ordered from Warn because I knew what was wrong with it. I already tested it. Okay, here's our old motor. Make sure they look the same to me. Who knows what's wrong with that? Just bad. They go to ground sometimes. Here's something that's kind of troubling me. The new motor came with this. I do not see that on the old one. Check this bearing. That bearing, smooth as silk. Oh, interesting. It came with new bolts, and the new bolts are bigger. We'll grease up our splines. Bell Ray waterproof grease. This is the hack. Get yourself a little solder brush, Home Depot, plumbing section. Whenever you need to put grease on, you don't have to get it all over your fingers. Well, we'll fit it here and see. We'll have to line these splines up. Do you see that little pin? That goes into the housing. Now this won't, oh, there it goes. I was going to say it wouldn't seat, but it just needed to line up right there. So I don't see any negative, no pressure or anything, or putting anything on a bind. So I think that washer probably does go in there for some reason. Oh, crap. Goodness, gentlemen, I stepped into it. Look at that. Oh, no. I wish I hadn't have done that. All the brushes popped out. The brushes run on this copper. That's what gives the power to the motor. And now they're all out of place. Let's fix that. I'm making an assumption. This is how we get to the brushes. Yes. Oh, no problem, gentlemen. This is exactly what we needed. Okay, well, we're getting a lesson here. We're learning by doing. So this is actually good, so you can see this. So these are called brushes. And do you see the wire? This is how the motor makes contact to it. And look at the size of them. This is a good quality motor. 4 big old thick brushes. Really nice to see. There we go. Not so bad. Okay, so you can see now these brushes provide power, and they're running all 4 of them at one time on that motor. Pretty cool. Let's strip this wire rope off of here, and I'll take some weight out of it, and we can get our synthetic ready. Boy, this brings back a lot of bad memories. Winding the cable on these drums was the job that was given to you when you were being punished at Warn. I found myself winding a lot of cable. Was not a team player. This is called a roller fair lead, and this is designed so that at any angle, up, down, left, right, you don't have a hard point that's going to cut your cable. These are not suitable for synthetic line. You need to use something like this. Now, this is not a Warn. This is from my old Harbor Freight winch that broke, but it's the bolt patterns. It's the same thing. This is designed for synthetic, so we'll put this on the new mount as well. Here you can see the nice factory one compared to my homemade one. I just welded up a piece of, that's pretty thick, 3/8 or so onto a trailer hitch. I actually bent this and I put the tabs on for the fair lead. I never thought this would hold up, but it did. I pulled many vehicles out with that, but this is going to be better. It'll give us that handle to move it around, and it's going to be stronger too. The Harbor Freight fair lead came with these really nice stainless steel bolts to hold it on, but they're, you can see they're too long. There's a conflict there. It's running into the wind. It's quite a nice fair lead, actually. Those bolts are so close. There's just a little bit of thread sticking out there. Why don't we just flip these around? This Allen head is pretty low profile, and then, oh, I want the washer there, and then we won't have to cut those stainless bolts. I'm fearing that this plan is going to miscarry. Ah, nope. Bless them, they left enough room for a socket in there. Now we can reinstall the solenoid cover. All right, gentlemen, let's go mount it up, see if it works, and wind our synthetic cable on. Oh, much nicer with these handles. One of the first accessories I put on my truck is a front hitch mount. Very versatile, very handy. It's always something, isn't there? We have a conflict here. I welded these tabs on here to mount these lights. Looks like the other one broke off when the deer got destroyed. Looks like they gave us a new trailer pin. The portable winch mount is a great way to go on the smaller winches, on your 9,000 pound winches, because it gives you the ability to put it on the front or the back, or just take it off altogether if you don't want to leave it out where it might get stolen or the weather's going to tear it up. These, I believe, are called Anderson connectors from forklifts. So what I did is I ran big fat wires to the rear and to the front so that I can put this in the rear receiver or the front and winch forward or backwards. The Anderson connectors are the same. There is no male or female. This is just a protective cap to keep corrosion and such out. But when you want to use it, your winch, all you do is just snap it in just like that. And now we should be working, hopefully. Let's try it out. What's the chance this thing's gonna run? Well, I should have bench tested, huh? Apparently it wasn't the motor. Okay, let's start diagnosing. Do we have power to the Anderson plug? And we do. We've got 12.7 volts, so that's good. So that's not the problem. There is a little corrosion in there. Let's pull this solenoid cover off and see if we've got power to the solenoids. Okay, we've got 12 to the first solenoid. After a fair amount of investigating, I found why it doesn't work. You see this? Always a ground. The ground strap broke off. All right, let me yank this off, take it inside, and we'll repair that. This is one of those jobs you think is going to take 10 minutes and you end up using 90% of the tools you own. That is the culprit, gentlemen. All it takes is something like that to leave you stranded in the middle of the night. I thought that was heavy gauge wire, but that's actually pretty small. I think that's blue is too big. That is much better, gentlemen. Don't let me forget to abandon that wire. Get rid of that thing before it falls off and shorts out, catches on fire. I like that mount. With the big handles, a lot easier to move around. I can grab it. Now I've got this truck, and mine as well, all wired up for winch, front and rear. There's the plug. Right there, looks like the cap's broken. Having these winches portable on these mount systems is very handy. It makes it so much more useful in other areas. For example, I can take this winch, pull it off, unplug it, put it onto my 16-foot flatbed. If I ever want to pull a vehicle or a piece of equipment up on the trailer or front and rear, sometimes you get in a situation where you need to pull out the way you came. It's very difficult to pull backwards if you've got your winch in the front. So I'm not saying it's the end all be all, but it is a nice option to have. So just something to consider. May God bless you and your families. Please keep us in your prayers, and we'll see you all on the next video.